So we've got a car market, a new car market, which is going to stagnate around about the 500,000 for the next 2 years. The second thing people are going to realize, our tax base is actually shrinking, which means there's nobody new coming into the market. If we grow our tax base, because car sales, no matter where in the world, are linked to tax paying. If people have income, disposable income, they'll buy a car. Everyone wants to buy a car. The problem is, if you don't have jobs, you can't, and you're not creating jobs, interest rates are not going to help. They might help a little bit. I mean, tomorrow morning, even if the interest rates come down 1%, people won't go out there and just buy cars because the market hasn't grown. We say, of a tax-paying base, 6 to 8% of people buy cars. They can go anywhere in the world, mature economies and all that, and depending. In South Africa at the moment, our tax base is, depending who you speak to, real tax is about 6 million, 6 odd. Now, if you take 8% of that, is 480,000 at the top end. You take 6%, it's 360. So I'm saying, guys, we're already at the top end of selling cars. But the more important thing is that what dealers are going to realize is Chinese are now coming into this market and they want to capture the market. At the moment, they're about 11, 12%. They want to get to 25%, which means that traditional OEMs have got to fight for a smaller market. And you know what happens when people fight a smaller market? They're going to have discounts, and the dealers are going to be the guys who are going to be impacted in terms of margin. We're talking about new cars at the moment. That's what people forget. So that market's not going to grow. You know, we've got to become more efficient. We've got to have a better relationship with our OEMs and work with them. And I think multi-franchise is going to be the order of the day in South Africa, particularly in the luxury car market. You've got to have almost combined showrooms, side by side. Maybe different sales force, but you can't have a standalone Audi and a standalone Mercedes and a standalone BMW, because unless you rationalize it and you allocate a greater area to a luxury car brand. But you can't have the number of dealers we have to sell these luxury cars because the market's not there. Dealers won't change tomorrow morning. I think pain will force them to change. And listen, dealers are going to be around. They reinvent themselves. I mean, nothing dies. I always say to people, nothing dies, but it gets reinvented. So dealers have to reinvent themselves, as painful as it's going to be. There'll be good dealers, there'll be bad dealers, but you've got to reinvent yourself. If you think you can carry on like you used to, forget about it. Just reinvent yourself and take the pain.